Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Kendall Askins from Stimulating Minds. Askins Stimulates over on Instagram. And now brand new, our YouTube channel where you would be able to find all of these videos, easy click. So please go to the YouTube channel, subscribe so that you can get updates as we update and upload the new videos. And then you can have access to those videos as you're, scrolling, and you can share this content out. So we have been talking through the book Awakening Genius, and we are going through those 12 types of geniuses, and we've been doing this for a little bit of time. Today I really want to talk to you about the genius of flexibility. So typically when I think of flexibility, I think of easily able to bend, right? Being able to move from one thing to the other. When I think about it in terms of our life, when I think about it in terms of my job, I think about it in terms of being able to go with the flow, right? Change of plans, it doesn't rattle me. Being able to problem solve in the moment, right? Not being rigid on what I'm thinking has to be done. And with the genius of flexibility, it's similar to that, same concept, but it's dealing with our mind, right? Often children display this more so than adults because we are conditioned to look at the world through what is real and what is not. And children have this ability to be able to go from this imagination or our imaginative land, or this land beyond what we perceive as reality, and to reality, and to kind of like go back and forth with that. So while it is important to understand the difference between imagination and reality, there's so much beauty and connection that can come from being able to flow between the two worlds. So for example, think about like if we had a broken arm, right? So if we have a broken arm, what do? We go to the hospital, we get treatment, the doctors treat us, put a cast on, maybe soft or hard cast, whatever. When children get a broken arm, while they might do this, it might prompt them to think about, like if they see an animal or if they see an insect or something, it might prompt them to say, I wonder what happens when an animal gets a broken arm. I wonder what happens if an insect breaks a leg or something. Do they have an insect hospital? Is there an animal hospital? Are there animal doctors, right? And so while we as adults might not even think about that, that might not be something that comes to our mind because either we don't have time or we feel like we already know that's not true. Children go between these two worlds, right? And then from thinking about that, they might create a whole scenario of that. They might then go build it with their Legos, right? Or they might draw a picture of something like that. Or they might create a class project that has to do with that, or talk about that in school. So they are going in between these worlds of imagination and real life based off of what they're experiencing in their everyday life and making connections, right? And some people are able to do this more easily than others. So I want you to be thinking about creating these connections as a type of genius. How this genius relates to our reality is, think about language, right? We speak English here in America and in other parts of the world. There's other languages, but then when we think about languages of computers, for example, somebody had to think about that, right? Somebody had to say, there has to be a way for me, a human, to communicate with this computer, and that computer to communicate back to me without speaking English, without speaking this language that I speak, or this computer to communicate with every person that speaks all different languages in the world. And so there's computer language, right? HTML, I think it is, or JavaScript, whatever it is, right? And that is this universal language, right? Math is also another universal language. And so people that are geniuses in flexibility are the ones who probably are coming up with these ideas or concepts and creating these connections between these different worlds or these different items and experiences. These journeys through flexibility also are the ones that are rooted in our different cultures, because our connections can be not just through imagination and reality, but through social, artistic, intellectual connections. So people that are able to flow between these different ideas and connect them to our realities are demonstrating geniuses and flexibility. They brought in that genius and flexibility broadens knowledge, it broadens our minds, and so appreciating people who are geniuses in flexibility will help us see the world in a different light. They are helping move our worlds forward along with all these other geniuses. So I hope I gave you something to think about this morning. Are you a genius in flexibility? If this was something that was enlightening for you, drop a heart, give a comment, maybe an idea that you're having, maybe something that made you think about this. Please put that comment down in the comment section. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you back here next week for more fun. Bye.